Good.
Hey, Coach. Good to see you. Some of my Pittsburgh folks.
Pat, Orlando, I know you can't talk about recruiting, I get that, but you talk about your relationship with your high school coach.
He's my high school coach. Spent 3 great years with him. Good man, good family man. He's done a great job everywhere he's been.
You guys still friends?
Yes. He's a mentor and someone who I stay in contact with.
Players were talking about having fun.
Yeah.
I like that moment at the end of the LSU game. How important is something like that going forward?
It's very important, especially towards the end of the year. You want them to have fun. They've been through the trial and tribulation of the season. They put in a lot of hard work, and you want them to go out there and enjoy their rewards for working that hard. And
Is it a hit the wall kind of thing, especially with younger players, to lighten the load mentally?
I don't know if it's hitting the wall. I mean, these guys are playing so much basketball throughout the year that I don't know if you can say that it's a wall. It's just a matter of it clicks, and they're enjoying the fact that they're competing together, working together, and seeing results. And to see that pure joy for one another, it's what the coaching staff has been working to try to get them to.
Is that why Cal put the picture up on the wall too? Is that kind of a constant reminder you want these guys to see when they walk by them?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's part of what, as coaches, is what we want them to understand, that that's what it feels like. That's what it's supposed to be about.
What did you guys not do in the first Arkansas game that you need to do on Thursday?
Rebound. I think we take care of the ball a little bit better. I think we had 17 turnovers that game, but we competed. We played hard. Arkansas, comes out and plays really hard. Coach Anderson does a great job of getting those guys to play the way they want to play and speeding up the game. I think we handled it pretty good, and just a couple of mistakes in closing out a game, and that obviously having the rebounding, making a couple free throws.
Cal said Alex has been in the gym working here these last couple of days. A little bit of a slump for him. What have you seen from him?
Alex has continued to work, and that's the only way that Willie got himself out of his little couple games rut, by working through it, and Alex is doing the same. And we hope that he'll continue to put that work in, and that he'll see the results of the work that he previously had done and he was having success with. So it's a little bit up and down, and the season is that way. You just got to kind of manage those. Can't be too high, can't be too low, and just keep working through the process in between.
On a recent radio show, the coaches were talking about confidence, trying to not maintain it, boost it with encouragement. What I would say was encouraging talk, painting the brightest picture possible. How much is that something you guys are trying to do now, coming down the stretch?
I think we're doing a lot of it, but we're identifying what they're putting in and what they're doing. That's really what we're doing. Those guys are putting in a lot of extra time, a lot of extra work, and we're identifying that they're doing that and they're having success. So keep doing that, because as you get better, the team gets better, and it allows us to be on the right side of the column at the end of the day.
I think in the last 2 games there have been a few possessions where they all slapped the floor together on defense and clapping a lot more. Is that something you all are asking them to do, or is that just kind of a byproduct?
No, I think it's a byproduct of that. I think they know that they can ignite each other in that way, and if you see one does it and the other one, it leads to someone else doing it and clapping and getting engaged. And for staff, that's fun. For the fans, it's fun, because they're out there competing, and that's what we're asking them, to give us that kind of effort, that kind of focus. It gets them out of themselves and into each other, and when you have that kind of passion and energy, it sparks each other.
Do you think the postseason being so near helps fuel that a little bit? the idea that the big payoff is coming, or are they oblivious to that sort of thing?
I think I don't know that they're looking into that far ahead. I just think they're really enjoying the moment and playing the game the way we've asked them to play for one another, and they're seeing results of that. And I think they're getting enjoyment from that. I don't know if they're looking that far down the stretch.
With Marcus and Julius that we just talked to, said it was, trying to find where to bring out the passion and fun was kind of the problem early on. What do you know for being a player? And then, what do you think these guys are trying to, where are they pulling it from? Where are they trying to find it now?
Well, you pull it from working and knowing that you've invested time in your craft, in yourself, and your teammates are doing the same thing. The game is a lot of up and down, and the team that manages the lows better is the team that usually comes out on top. We're playing teams that are really talented, that have veteran guys on the team that have been in situations, and the way that you can overcome some of that is with passion and energy and communicating, and they're doing a much better job of that.
Julius mentioned that at the end of the LSU game, he volunteered or wanted Johnny O'Brien. He wanted to guard him. And he said that wasn't something like he went to a coach and asked for. It was just something they worked out among themselves on the court, if I heard him right. How much of that happens generally? That's
what it's about. Those guys are on the court, and as coaches, all we try to do is put them in the best position to go out there and compete and win. And when they get to the point where they're empowered that way, when they can communicate to one another, that's what we try to get them. When Coach Cal is talking about this being their team, those are moments that it becomes their team and not a coach-driven team.
What about if the guy has 4 fouls and he said, I'm going to take on that top
Well, then
scorer?
that becomes a judgment call on the staff. It depends on the timing of the 4 fouls too, Jared.
Speaking of on the floor, John is up coaching hard, and he's locked in on what's going on, and sometimes you look down there and he's out on the floor. Are you or any other assistants assigned to, does coach ever tell you, okay, if I get a little too far out there, reach up, reel me back in?
I don't think that's something that's conversed or talked about. You kind of, Cal is very passionate, and he's coaching like he is 35, which is great. At the same time, you have to, as a staff, we have to help him at times if that's the case. Making sure he's staying in the coach's box, which is hard.
You have to keep like one eye on him just to be sure?
No, we're watching the game, so we know what's transpiring.
You all look at the film of that last play at Arkansas at all this week, or you just kind of put that one out here?
We look at all the film. We always review how we played them first, the things that they did against us, things that we did well, things that we need to correct. So we have seen that a couple times.
When you look at that last play, what do you see in that where it falls, the dump?
You see a phenomenal athlete made a great play. I also see that we're a much different team than we were in January. And
What do you mean?
We've grown. We've matured. We've grown. We're focused on every possession a lot better than we were early on. Even though that was one of our better games that we played, there were still things that we could improve on, and we have.
Was that play a blockout missed, or was it just sort of the human nature would say last shot?
It was a blockout play. The shot goes up, and the tendency is to watch the ball instead of find a body. If you find a body, then he doesn't have the opportunity to go up and go get that ball.
How much better is Arkansas now than they were back then? I think they've won 5 of their last 6.
They're better. They're right in the pack, in the middle of the pack with the rest of the teams in the conference, and we know they're going to come out and compete and play hard, and we're excited about the challenge.